Welcome to my first vegetable garden. If you want to subscribe and follow me, I'll actually be going over all these different bag products, telling you what's in them. Bottom line is, if you're going to fill a raised bed, the most expensive way to do it is buying the bag products. They all work, it's a convenience, but they're mostly just an increase starting from the cheapest stuff to the more expensive potting mix, just an addition of peat moss. So what I want to show you today is how to make your own container mix, earth bed mix, using a compressed bale of peat moss. That's a 3-foot compressed bale of peat moss. Cost about $22, $23. Once you open it up, loosen it up, it gets to be about 5 cubic feet. So there's a lot in there. And when you add water, it expands even more. You end up with about 20 cubic feet of material. That's like $1.25 per cubic foot. Really inexpensive way to build your own container mix, earth bed mix. Now, you can't just plant directly in peat moss. It's not going to work. You can mix it into your earth beds. What I typically do, and this is what I'm going to show you how to make, this is my 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 mix. It's made from 1/3 and let's just say for an equal measure, you use the same size container. Although I eyeball it, I'll talk about that in a second. So it's 1 container of topsoil, which you can buy, that's inexpensive, or you can use earth from your land, from your garden, so it'll be free that way. So 1/3 topsoil or earth, 1/3, 1 container of peat moss, and then it's 1 container of leaf grow, which is right down there. That's a local product, but that could be your compost. So it's equal portions, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Mix it all together. You end up with something that looks like this. This is absolutely beautiful stuff. I have talked about doing a 50-50 mix, 50% peat moss, 50% earth or topsoil from your garden. You mix it together. That's great too. This has the compost division already put into it, 1/3 compost. So if you do it the 50-50 mix, 50% or 1/2 peat moss, 50% topsoil or earth, you just make it, and then as you're using it, you decide how much compost or other materials you want to put in there. But I like the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 mix. That's with the assumption that you do have the compost. This is just great stuff. You can use it just as is with containers. If you want to add more peat to it for containers, you can do that. It's great for your earth beds, and it's really, really inexpensive. This is the cheapest way to make a great product to fill your containers and beds. Let me show you how I make this. I usually mix my stuff in a wheelbarrow. You could do it on a tarp. So the 50-50 mix would be 50% peat, 50% of your topsoil or your earth. I'm just leaving this in here. This is what I already made because I had no other place to put it. But that's the 50-50 mix. The 1/3, 1/3 mix is now we add in the compost. So it's 1/3 peat, 1/3 compost, 1/3 topsoil. Mix it all together. And usually when I do this, I'm just eyeballing it. I don't necessarily use the measure. Just wanted to show you how to do it. I just fill up, you know, 1/3 with peat, 1/3 with topsoil, 1/3 with compost. And those ingredients were pretty dry, but I mean, just look how beautiful that is. You could add in more earth, you know, if you want to save some money, put in some more of your earth. This is still going to be good. If you, again, like I was saying, wanted to have more water retaining properties, add in some more peat moss for a container. All right, let me add some water to this and just show you what it looks like fully hydrated. Then we'll talk about fertilizer. So you just want to soak it real quick. I want to show you what it looks like hydrated so you get an idea of how it looks, and it is going to expand a little bit. Again, I want to keep stressing the point of making your own product because you're going to save a lot of money. It can easily cost, if you're filling a raised bed that's 4 feet by 8 feet, maybe with a 1-foot side, using the store pre-made products, it can easily cost you $150, $200 to fill up that bed. That is just crazy. That's so expensive. Doing it this way, it's going to be a fraction of the cost. So once everything gets some water, this is what it looks like. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to add to this. I'm going to put in about the amount that I normally use, so I can show you how I put in the fertilizer. And again, the bag products are just really versions of more peat moss as you work your way from the less expensive stuff out to the potting mix. And it can cost you like 10 bucks for like a cubic foot of material. I mean, it's really, really expensive. The cheapest way, of course, is to have your own compost and just use your earth and compost. It's pretty much free except for the work you put into it. But we all don't have that to start. So 1/3 peat, 1/3 topsoil or earth, 1/3 compost makes this beautiful mix. I mean, and this is a lot of material, and it could still, you know, get a little bit more water in there, and it's going to, you know, fluff up even more. You could add to this now 2 or 3 big shovelfuls of my clay soil. Break it up through there. When you mix this into an earth bed, you could mix this 50% into, you know, 50% of your earth, generally speaking. Just incorporate this in, and it expands everything. It's just a great planting medium. Or use it directly as is for your containers, for potting up, etc. Once it's like this, I like to add in, and you know, it doesn't have to be exact. It could be 1 handful. I mean, if you're not using compost, maybe you don't have it, so you're using 50% earth, 50% peat moss, maybe do 2 or 3 handfuls, or 3 or 4 handfuls. And something like this, I'm putting in 2 handfuls of any organic granular fertilizer. It doesn't matter as long as it has N, P, and K represented. This is going to break down slowly over time, feed your plants as the microbes break it down over a longer period. Great to set it up. Some people are worried, maybe you have soil that has more acidity in it, and by using peat moss they're concerned they're going to lower the pH or raise the acidity of their soil. You can just get basic garden lime, throw in a couple handfuls of garden lime. I actually had to cut the video because the rain's starting to fall. Mix the lime through, and again, this is just an inexpensive way to really get your garden established. I mean, once you set something up like this, you can really add and amend to it whatever you want. Now, I had to cover everything because it's raining, but all the bag stuff that was down there, it's the most expensive way to fill your beds. It's not any better in any way than what you made here. And when you read on those bags, you know, grow vegetables 2 times larger, etc., etc., it's just because they have fertilizer in there and you just added it in. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and please subscribe. I'll teach you how to grow food, have some fun, and save money. Thanks for watching.